Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Ann?
John Austin,
Yes.
John Phillipson,
Yes.
David Hoffman,
Yes.
Johnny Norman,
Yes.
Willie Sines,
Yes.
motion carries.
Next up is the financials. We need board approval required for our financials.
I make
So
a
moved.
motion.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Ms. Ann?
John Austin,
Yes.
John Phillipson,
Yes.
David Hoffman,
Yes.
Johnny Norman,
Yes.
Willie Sines,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Next up is our reports from our department heads. We'll start with street and sanitation, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Board. For the month of December, we processed 107 work orders, picked up and disposed of 131 tons of residential garbage. We picked up and disposed of 41 loads of leaves. We continue to pick up brush, limbs, and other things left on the side of the road. Continually, we cleared several ditches, dug mouths of culverts out, cleaned leaves out of them so water can flow properly. We assisted in 6 after-hours dispatch calls. We put out 5 tons of coal mix for water cuts and potholes. We picked up and disposed of 4.47 tons of recycling. And we did 4 asphalt repairs for the SUD. We put up a lot of Christmas displays, and then right after Christmas, took down a lot of Christmas displays. So, if anybody has any questions?
I'd just like to thank you for your special effort, you and the mayor, for fixing our road when the snow and ice came, saved some lives, some vehicles. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is the police department.
During the month of December, we had 313 calls for service, which ended up being 49 incident reports out of that with 7 traffic crashes. We ended up writing 128 citations in the month of December. I'll be glad to try to answer any questions you may have.
I have something. I wanted to ask you about our cadets. Can you give us a little report on that?
Our cadets,
That's went to the academy, our police officers.
well, we had 3 cadets go to the academy Sunday. 2 are still in the academy and 1 is in the hospital. She went to the hospital Sunday and she is still in the hospital. So she's got a heart condition and they're still working with her. So she's, like I say, she's still in the hospital, so she will not make this class because of that.
Thank you. Next up is the fire department.
For the month of December, we responded to 52 medical calls. 14 of those was outside the city. We had 4 structure fires, worked 7 automobile accidents. We had 10 false calls and 1 agency assist, and that agency assist was where we sent a truck to Memphis for 2.5 days. We had 9 public assist and LZs, 3 service calls for a total of 86 calls. We done 8 permits and inspections. We done 85 hours online training, and standby time was 2,232 hours. If anybody's got any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Thank you. Next up is Park and Rec.
You have my report, and if you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask, I'll be glad to try and answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is building inspector.
Good evening, Mayor, Board. For the month of December, we issued 1 permit. There were 6 property maintenance violations issued. There were 2 zoning compliance letters issued, 4 plan reviews were conducted, and 1 inspection was performed. In the business of the Planning Commission, they approved a minor subdivision of property up on Peach at 914 and 916 Peach. Board of Zoning Appeals did not meet, And just FYI, the OSHA inspection was moved from December to this month, tomorrow as a matter of fact. So we'll have him here tomorrow. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions?
All right, thank y'all.
Next up is Utility Division. Angie?
Chris is home with his wife. She's been in the hospital, so I'm covering for him. We had one gas tap installed, 2 water taps. They repaired at least 24 leaks. I'm sure there's a whole lot more with everything that went on, but I do know that they've done at least 24 water leaks. They pumped 79 million gallons of water and treated 18 million gallons of sewer. If y'all have any questions.
Thank you. Next up is City Attorney.
Mayor and board in my corner of the world's been pleasantly quite peaceful this past few months, or few weeks, excuse me. Nothing specific to report on. I know all of you got a copy of the letter that I got back from the engineers. I just review those and wait till I get the response from the engineering, from the construction side. I'll get that to you as soon as I get it, and we'll discuss whatever you need to discuss about it. Questions? Thank you.
Thank you. We don't have any old business. We'll go into our new business, which will be Chief Carr, who needs to talk about, I guess, 4 grants, if you want to come to the podium. He needs a motion. We went over these last night. Do you want to address any of that?
Yeah, we got, last year we applied for a safer grant and a new rescue truck to replace an old one that's 22 years old. And we got the turn down letter last week. And I made some phone calls to DC, and basically we was in the list, they run out of money. Same thing happened last year. So the AFG grants opened yesterday, so I want to reapply. The truck, we're gonna have about a $55,000 to $6,000 match, depending on state bid. We can sell the old truck and get that. The safer grant will be for 3 years, no match. The rescue squad grant will be no match. And the fire prevention grant will probably be about a $900 match, and I'll just do that out of my budget.
Did you have the rescues? Okay, you got
Yeah.
that rescues. Okay. I didn't hear that.
I make a motion to approve him applying for the grants.
I'll second.
Okay. Any questions? Ms. Ann?
Johnny Austin,
Yes.
John Phillips,
Yes.
J.B. Hawkins,
Yes.
Johnny Garner,
Yes.
Dennis Sonny,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay. All right, next up, Mr. Ed Huggins, if you want to approach the podium, you wanted to address the board?
I'm Ed Huggins. I'm no stranger to y'all, I suspect. I've been in town about 3 years, been up here off and on for a couple of years. Just being a concerned citizen, not so much as a baseball player, but concerned citizens. I know it's about time to start the baseball season. And I go up and look at North Park, and it is far from ready to be played baseball on. And I believe in 21 I was here, and the mayor said it'd be ready at the end of the year to play ball, or finished up by the end of the year. And then was led to believe there'd be some tournaments there maybe the following year, which has been the spring of 22. I'd like a show of hands, a courtesy for a show of hands, if the Alderman has been up there and looked at our park in the last few months. Okay. What do y'all think about it?
I don't think it's
Looks bad to me. That's my opinion.
Well, that's what I was thinking also myself, and I don't know. I've got some photograph I left back there in my seat, but y'all apparently been there, and it's pretty hideous about what it looks like. Let me get those and let you kind of look through them a little bit. And look at the first one there. That's a pretty nice looking ballpark there, right? That ballpark was like that 2 months ago. And they're ready to play ball in the next few weeks, which, you know, now at the college,
Where is that?
that'd be up the street here at Bolivar. A little bit, you know,
The high school field?
it's not the high school field. It's the Little League field.
Little League field.
If you fan on through them that a little bit,
It is the high school field.
well, it's the league on the side of the hill, always high school. I see little leagues out there all the time on the side of the hill. Is that high school field?
Yeah.
I thought it was at the school.
No, not ball.
All that field out there on the side of the hill is all high school
They
field?
play high school ball out
They
there,
play a lot of little league there
do.
also.
but that's high school field.
Okay.
Just have a field out there.
That's a really nice field out there. I don't know if anyone's been by it or not, but anyway, it's a nice field. You know, I would just so desire if we had something like that we could look at and be as proud of as they are of theirs. I don't know how they maintain it, how much money they spend on it, or what. But anyway, we just dumped in about $1 million up there. That ball field, you know, even this last session, before that it was bought and a bunch of money was spent and we could play on it. Now we can't even play on it. You look up there and it's been a week since it rained and the field is still too muddy to play on. They're grown up in grass and there's been no effort, look like, to make them try to get them ready. Half of that money was a grant, and it's easy to spend somebody else's money, as they say. All right, spend money you didn't make. Half of it was our money, our taxpayers' money. It could have been spent on something else, not to have to match a grant to dump up there at a ball field. There's lots of issues there, and whether it appears to me, being a contractor, I was a commercial contractor several years, and that's why it kind of irks me to see anything like that, being left like that this long. You know, the grades are apparently not right, or the fields wouldn't be holding water and ponding in them. There's no mounds. There's so much up there could be done. I believe all 5 aldermen were there. Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe y'all were on board when this ball field was approved and started construction. It's been there the whole time. And why you let it get that way is beyond me. I know if it was your house and you paid for something like that, I don't care if it wasn't but $100, you'd be back on somebody to come fix it up. Because you, like I say, but it's easy to spend somebody else's money. If you want to sit there and keep doing that and let it happen and not getting something to work with, I think you need to all go up there and put your name on it and be proud of it. But to me, it's a waste of taxpayers' money. As far as baseball, then we'll get back to the Little League. The Little League ball field out here, it's horrendous. I grew up a little south of here, and we played on cow pastures that better than that ball field is down there. It's dangerous to a certain extent. We have no lighting on one of the fields down there, and have to use temporary lightings. I don't say no lighting, but it's inadequate lighting. There are holes out there where they have played and it's not been maintained. They look like ditches. There's a 6-inch difference, a change of elevations between the playing dirt out there and the grass in some spots behind the catcher's base. If you don't believe me, drive down there, and I'm intending to go by and get a picture of that, but go out there and take a look at it. Now, we had a little tournament out here last year that drew a lot of people. If we have that many people show up for a ball game to use this nice park we're going to have up here, they won't be parking places for them. Now, I don't know why, I asked about this 2 years ago also, and it hadn't a whole lot happened, so I don't know if it will happen or not, but anyway. For some reason or another, on projects the mayor asked for, she cannot seem to get cooperation out of her. I don't know if it's, she spent more though in this beautifying the city in the last few years, but I don't know, I dare say less than $50,000 and we wasted $1 million up there on. But she has little authority without your cooperation to get anything done. I mean, she has no vote unless there's a tie, and there won't be a tie if you got 5 people. So I don't know what the problem is, except why we can't get it done, except that this is a small town network and don't want anything to happen. It's not been like it has been for years and years. And I don't
Do you
know
really think that we're up here because we don't want anything to happen in Selmer?
What have you done?
Is that what you think?
All right, I knew there'd be some feedback here pretty quick.
Okay, well,
All right.
that's what I'm asking. I hear that a lot. We're trying the best we can. We vote on everything. We try to do.
You
the
vote
best
on
we can.
anything?
We're here for $0 to come up here and get fussed at. You get $138 a month to do this. I thought it was free when I signed.
I can sit there and do nothing for that. I'm not doing anything anyway, but I can sit there and do nothing for $138.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear, we're trying to do the best we can,
Okay.
and trying to do the best for the city that we can do.
Why do you not give the mayor more cooperation?
I will work with the mayor. She hadn't called me and asked me to do anything, but I will.
She will?
Yeah, we'll discuss things. Were you here yesterday? You weren't here yesterday.
I wasn't here yesterday, no, I said doctor
We can
yesterday.
discuss anything, we can discuss anything tonight.
That's not the appearance you give to the citizens of the town.
Well, okay.
And I have not been,
Concerned, they can call me. My number's
I have
on the
not
website.
been solicited to do this either. It's kind of what probably most of you think.
That's kind of a giveaway. When you say
Is
that.
it? It is? Oh,
I think so.
Mr. Detective here then, great. Oh, man, y'all, you know, I'd call y'all a network, but I'd call you something else, you know, if it wasn't a public meeting. Anyway, we just deserve better. The citizens deserve better. I grew up down here, matter of fact, you know, 50-plus years ago and left. The town was better then than it is now. And so what have you done to improve it? The Little League Park been there over 70 years. It's a piece of trash right now. You look at me straight in the eye, and everybody else can too. Anything I'm saying, you cannot disagree with.
Well, the North Park up there is what the city attorney was referring to. We're working on getting the rest of that done.
Why does it take 3 years to build a cotton picking baseball
Well,
field?
hell, I don't know. I've never built one.
Well, I have built some, thank you very much.
Well,
And I have built some. It didn't take 3 years. Well, maybe you should put somebody in charge of it that could do it. If it's the engineers needs to come up there, they need to come back. They owe you the courtesy, they owe us, the citizens, the courtesy of doing a punch list and telling you that it is up to standards. And if it's up to standards, I'll eat the podium.
What? And that's
We're
like
working
I
on
said,
the punch
we're
list and working
on
on
it.
getting it finished. The paperwork's going through. I don't know if it has yet. It's in the process right now.
If what we
have to wait on the state before we can do anything. We can't spend money or touch anything until the state says we can.
I have never had a problem with the state in my life, or federal government, either one. In all of my 40 years of contract, I never had that much problem with it. But I didn't get my money. If you paid out of pocket, paid in advance, that's your bad.
Like I've said before, I mean,
Yeah, you told me before, yep.
your name can be on that ballot this year.
Let me tell you, it just might be, because I got a custard
Well,
shirt on,
and that's
but this is
fine.
not custard last stand. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. A little bit of cooperation out of you, I believe, and a few things, other things. There's a lot goes on. I hear the talk around town from a lot of people. And my wife wouldn't come because she gets too frustrated and too mad. And, you know, y'all are enough to get frustrated and mad about. We ain't done jack up here this year,
Can I
except a
ask,
few little
can I ask
cosmetic stuff.
Can you tell us what you've heard that we're not doing or need to be doing? Can you share that?
I won't do it right now, no, sir. I will, but I will.
So how are we gonna get better if we don't know we're not doing perfect?
Well, tell me what you've done.
We've tried to prove everything we can.
Yeah? Well, there was a whole lot of conflict over a red light camera right down the road.
Working
There's
on
one. I've tried and asked to get the engineer down here to let me, to explain to me that what we've got up there is what we paid for. Do you
But they
think,
tell
do you deserve, do you like that up there?
Do I like it to park?
Yep.
No.
Okay. Well, why we're not doing something about it?
Well,
We
that's
don't-
why the city attorney's involved. I mean,
Well,
but
I don't-
he wasn't the one that wrote the contract, but
He
he's
don't look
trying
like
to
a,
take.
he don't look like he's gonna get much done about it. He's got a coat and tie on. We need an engineer out there to do a survey and see if it's been adequately graded. And all they gotta do is write a engineer, and I believe they will get on it.
I'm gonna get those punch lists.
I think it's
I'll
time.
get those done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
You dropped something.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have,
That's a good looking ball field. What that is.
thank you. Questions or comments from the audience? We have Mr. David Williams that wants to talk about a speed bump.
I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to speak to you. I'm not gonna insult anybody or criticize you. I appreciate what you do. The question I have is on Higginbottom Road where I live, right at the city limits line, the previous mayor took it upon himself to put a speed bump on the road. It's the only speed bump in the city. And he had some friend out there, and when I asked him about it, he said the reason we did that was because all the residents on French Street were complaining about the traffic coming through so fast. And I don't know if anybody has been out on French Street. Nobody lives on French Street. So I asked him, I said, how many people live out there? And he said, I don't know. He said, do you know? I said, yes, I do. None. So his reason was kind of unimportant. I would like to request that the board remove the speed bump, since it's the only one in the city. I was told that speed bumps do not cause damage to vehicles. Yes, they do. And one guy said, well, it's there to get people to stop at the stop sign. There's stop signs all over the city, and there's not another speed bump in the city. So I'm going to respectfully ask you guys to approve to have that removed.
Well, I was told years ago that we couldn't have a speed bump because of emergency vehicles, and if that's wrong, Mr. Carl
You're right.
or anybody, I was told that.
Ray, do you recollect?
Yes, I know exactly what's going on there. I had an extensive conversation with Mr. Williams, is it?
Yeah.
And he, anyway, I won't get into that, but that speed bump was put there because, to my understanding, a little boy got hit on a bicycle and said, the last mayor sent a police officer up there, and that stop sign is continuously run by almost every single vehicle that was going there. This was the indication that I got from the last mayor. If anybody that knows me is, I'm a firm believer in no speed bumps on city roads. I wasn't in a position when I built that speed bump to say anything about it. I was just an employee at the time, and certainly nobody asked for my opinion. The speed bump is very minimal. I received all kinds of reasons why that speed bump shouldn't be there, and refuted all the reasons that were given to me. And it boiled down to, it was an inconvenience that you have to go over that speed bump. To my knowledge, another child hasn't been hit there since. And it seems to me that it's only an inconvenience if you're running the stop sign. I'll gladly remove it. I'm a firm believer that we shouldn't have them. And the only reason why it's probably still there is because it is at a stop sign. People are supposed to stop. People aren't stopping because it's such a remote location. And when the police officer sat there, he said 99% of the people were running it, and that the speed bump is serving the purpose. Mr. Williams told me it wasn't in the it was in the county, it wasn't in the city. That's not correct. That is city right at that stop sign. It changes over past it. We change that stop sign when it's stolen. We service those signs up to that point in time. You know, that it was wrecking vehicles. We've never gotten any suits for you know, damage to any vehicles that were going down. There was a couple of more, you know, and then you know, the conversation got a little abrupt or So we ended the conversation there. The gentleman, I mean, I'll do whatever the board asks me to do, but it seems that if people are continuous, the speed bump is about an inch high, roughly. It's made by hand, so it's not evenly divided, but, you know, it's, you know, it's serving the purpose that it was put in for. You know, whatever this board decides, you know, we'll gladly do. It is at a stop sign, people are supposed to be stopping for it. If they do, it doesn't seem to be a you know, a calamity by any means. It's not in the middle of the road to be used as you know, a traffic control to slow cars down. It is at a stop sign. We are supposed to stop. Last time I checked, you know, the laws.
So,
But I've spoken with them and you know, we have a difference of opinions, but whatever this board decides to do, I think it's, there are lots of stop signs. There are, you know, there's no question about that. It is the only one in the city. We'll do what you folks want. But I think it's serving the purpose that it was intended for.
so board.
With that being said, if you go by there, the first stop sign on Higginbottom Road, people run it all the time. I sit there and watch people just fly right through it. So, you know, by saying that's the only stop sign people run in the city, everybody knows that's not true. You can go to any stop sign around here and sit and watch, and people are gonna run every one of them. And I would challenge you guys, with respect, if you would take 45 days and drive out Higginbottom Road twice a day over the speed bump, I think you would find that it is a nuisance. And as far as emergency vehicles, they have a hard time crossing speed bumps. So I will live with what you guys decide. I respect your positions. I respect the fact that you do this for little or no money. I appreciate that. I mean, you guys do a great job, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me.
Thank you.
Well, my vote is that we're not gonna have them everywhere, we just got it there. I'm not gonna vote to keep it there if we don't need it there. So we can't put speed bumps all over the city of Selmer because somebody's running the stop sign.
There's no question about that. We can't.
That's
You
just
know,
my opinion.
Is that something we need to vote tonight, or we need discussion?
No,
We can do it later, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
But mine'll be
I
the
would
same,
wait
though.
till next
Okay.
month, cause I wanna go out there and see it myself.
Okay, good point. So y'all
I
are gonna
done
go?
seen it.
Okay,
Well, I haven't,
so we'll put that on the discussion for next time, right? So, okay. Mr. Oh, yes, Mr. Edgar.
Why put a speed bump and you already got stopped there?
Can y'all answer that?
You're defeating the purpose.
I mean,
You're supposed to stop anyway.
That's okay, why bump?
It was before my time.
Speed bump.
I just learned of this other day.
well, and like we said,
It's not no purpose of it.
I purposely wanna drive out there myself and
Okay.
see what's going on out there.
We are doing a lot of talking about something that ain't nothing to do with that. All you gotta do is do it. It's over with.
We'll put that on the work sessions for the guys to discuss next time. How about that? Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Williams. They can go out there and observe it and look at it. Did y'all have any other questions in the audience?
I wanted to comment that you might ought to just remove the speed bump, and it'd be a fine place to put those brand new police officers. It'd be a little experience writing tickets and have the city roads. It would not take long for people to start.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. If nothing else, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So, man.
Okay. Thank y'all for coming out tonight. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned. Oh, there's my sticky note. So why did, so can I ask? So can I ask? Oh, yeah, yeah. So can I ask, why did they put it out there?